Hello everyone. So in this video, we're going to talk about Google Tag Manager. We're going to look at the basics of Google Tag Manager, how you can install Google Tag Manager, why Google Tag Manager is important for marketers, for businesses, and for professionals, why it is having different use cases for agencies, e-commerce business, and many others. We'll also look at the advantages of having a GTM container and how you can make use of GTM for your user behavior, understanding the user behavior of your customers, for understanding conversions, for understanding various metrics, how you can do all of this. So this video is going to cover all of that. So we'll look at GTM in a detailed manner in a series of videos. So this is going to be the first video for that. See, firstly, if you look at my screen here, I'm going to show you how to install Google Tag Manager. I'll leave alone the definition of GTM, tags and triggers, variables, all of that I'll explain in the upcoming videos in detail. But this video is just going to be about GTM and its installation. So if you look at my screen here, I'm going to show you some particular areas where you can understand the installation of GTM first. Okay, so when we talk about the installation of GTM, how do you install GTM on your website? How do you create a Google Tag Manager account? What kind of tech stack? If you're having a WordPress site, how do you integrate that? If you're having a site made in Next.js or React.js, how do you integrate it? We also look at that. See, apart from this, I'll tell you about the advantages. How do you export within containers? How do you import? All of that I'm going to cover here. And then we'll also look at why GTM is a unified platform for all integrations. See, whether it be Google Analytics, whether it be Google Ads remarketing code, Metapixel, LinkedIn, and anything, you can just track everything from GTM as a unified platform. Now, there are different types of tags, different variables. We'll look into that. So without any delay, I'll just open up the Google Tag Manager account here. I'm just going to show you the Google Tag Manager of a demo site. Okay, so I'm just going to show you here. See, first of all, when we talk about Google Tag Manager, you have to understand you can just go and search Google Tag Manager. You can just search Google Tag Manager account. I already have some account created, but still I'm just going to show you here. You can go and search for Google Tag Manager, and once you search, you will see here create an account. Now I will just create an account here. Let us say I want to rename name it as for some company out here. Okay, so I'll just name it in one of my company's name. Let us say Scale Code Solutions, and I'll just do a container setup here, scaleCodeSolutions.com, let us say, and this is for the website of Scale Code Solutions. You just have to go ahead and save this, and then you can it will start creating the account. You can set up the country based on whichever country you are from. See, once you set it up, first thing is what you have to do is install this code on your website. You can see it here, install Google Tag Manager. Copy this on the head section of your page, copy this on the body section. Now if you are doing in WordPress, it is really simple. What you need to do is just go to WordPress, to the WordPress of your website. I'll just show you what the steps are. You just need to paste it under the head tag and the body tag of your website. Most people have WordPress websites or simple websites like Wix and all. You can just go ahead and do that. Okay, I'll come to this part. Now, once you have pasted the tag, you can just test it here. And then, if you just, let us say I test here scalecodesolutions.com, it will say the tag is not present. But still, I'm just going to show you how you can test it here, different kinds of integration. Let me just show you how you can test the website. Let us say this is scalecodesolutions.com. I'll just take the domain name and I'll just paste it here just to show you. See, it will anyway show it's not detecting. but you can just test your website here. If it shows, if you paste the code, it will show it correct. I already have a container installed, your Google tag wasn't detected. If your code is pasted wrongly, it will show like this. Now we already have a container which is already pasted and the body tag. Now if I paste the website link here, whatever my website link is, paradigmmedianetworks.com, you will see it will detect the code because it is already available here. Now once you correctly paste the code, or you understand something called as workspace. So you can see here there's something called as a default workspace. Workspace is something where you can create a set of tags and triggers for your specific purpose. Now what are tags and what are triggers? I'll come to this portion. See, if I click on tags, you'll see there is already a Google Analytics GA4 event tag initialized on all pages of the website. If I come to the triggers here, there is no trigger available. I'll create fresh triggers and tags to explain you what these are. I'll also explain you what are variables. Variables are specific conditions. Now Google Tag Manager, once it is integrated, you can preview and publish it. See, if you how do you know if it is connected to your site? Now let us say I just want to check if GTM container is connected to my site. I'll just go to paradigmmedianetworks.com under this particular tag assistant. Here it will say tag assistant is connected, and you can see here if I click on continue, it will show you what is the tag which is connected. Page view, it is something which is connected here. Now if I just go to the page view of my website and I just refresh it, or I just look at anything, so you see here in the tags this page view, it's, you will see here. Okay, so window loaded, you can see here. So here you will see this is a event which is only considered for page view. It is already triggering, right? So this particular container is installed. Now if I go back to Google Tag Manager again, I will just show you how to create some specific tags. Now see, there's a one kind of tag which you need to create for almost all major conversions, how to track conversions. You can just go here and create a tag for your thank you page, which is also known as, see, when you, let us say if I'm running a Google Ads here, I'll just go to Google Ads conversion tracking here. Under this, I'll put conversion ID and conversion label. Now there is a trigger for this. I will select all pages, or I'll select a specific page. It depends on, it depends on what kind of trigger I am selecting. But here I'll not lose my track here. I'll just go ahead and show you how to trigger on a thank you page. See, if you create a tag here, let us say I create a conversion linker here. Now enable linking on all page URLs, and I create a trigger here. I create all pages. It will create this trigger on all the pages, and you can save it here. Now it depends on your specific use case, what kind of triggers you need. See, if you go to the trigger section, you can create multiple triggers here. I will just show you the types of trigger configuration available. The most used one is page view. See, this video is only about showing you what GTM is, what kind of triggers are there. Triggers mean it's a specific condition where you want to measure something. Let us say number of page views. If you want to measure how many people visited a particular page, if you want to measure how many people clicked on a certain button, you can just select just links. If you want to measure how many people submitted a particular form, you can say select form submission. If you want to see how many people scrolled your website fully, 80%, 90%, or 100%, you select scroll depth. You can also select custom event and all that when it comes for meta, pixel, and other things. Now I'm just talking about page view here, which is the most common one. Now if I select page view here, we need some page views. That means most people, when you fill up a form, it goes to a thank you page. I think most of you may know this. If you do not know, whenever you are allowing any user to fill up a form on the website, you have to compulsorily make them redirect after the submission to a thank you page. Now this is going to be called as a thank you page trigger. Thank you page of, let us say I'm just going to do it for my thank you page of this particular website. You just select page view and some page view, and here you select page URL, and you put the exact URL of your thank you page. Right now I have all integrated, but I'm just showing you. In the next video I'll show you in detail with all this. Now this is particularly for thank you page you can integrate. Similarly, you can go here and select form submission. If it is not page view, some forms, you give the URL of that particular form, or you give the page path, whichever way you want to give it, you can do it. Now if you do not want to do that, let us say you want to just measure for clicks on a particular button, or on particular in a particular button or URL, right? So you paste the URL here, or give the event name or anything. You can just mention it here specifically depending on what kind of things you want to measure for a specific button. If you want to do for a custom event, you can even do that. Name a custom event, give the custom event URL, event name, and then you can do it here. I'll explain you in all these use cases, but most importantly, what you have to understand when you are starting GTM is understanding triggers. Triggers are really, really important. That fires up. Now, there are different kinds of triggers. There are user uh, triggers which the user wants to specifically do, which are available predefined here, and there are custom triggers or custom events which the user needs. It depends on your business use case, how big it is, how much diversity, or what kind of different marketing channels you have. Now then, there are variables. Now when I talk about variables, there are predefined variables, and then there are user defined variables. Now predefined means the built-in variables. See, these are all built-in variables. If I click on configure, you can see here the different kinds of built-in variables that GTM gives. If you want to measure clicks, let us say, and if your website, if you're running ads on your website, or you're getting a lot of SEO traffic, you want to see what kind of URL is getting more clicks, what kind of class level, what kind of click element, or what kind of a text on your website is getting more clicks. You can measure even to that specific extent. You can even measure form wise. You can measure container specific containers you can make for different kinds of tracking. You can also keep the pages. Now these are all inbuilt variables. Scrolling of the website, how deeply users have scrolled your website. If you're putting videos on your website, how many people have clicked on the video, what kind of video duration they have watched. All of these things you can track it here. Now these are a list of built-in variables. User defined variables, you can create it. You can create as many number of user defined variables you want. Specifically, you can use URL. Most people use URL here, and you can select it. This depends on your case. We'll again come to variables in the detailed part of the next video. Now if you are understanding GTM, I hope tags, triggers, and variables are somewhat clear to you. Now tag is a larger condition here. If you are doing it for, let us say, if you go to the tags here, you will see different purposes. If you are doing it for Google Analytics, Google tags, what kind of a particular platform you are using. If you want to track for Microsoft, if you want to track for LinkedIn, it depends on you. What are you going to use the tags for? Now triggers are specific use cases. If you want to measure page view, if you want to measure links and whatever. And then variable is according to the event specific conditions, what kind of event you want to measure, and built in and or user defined variables. Now you can do this. You can create different workspaces. Now without getting much into detail about this, I will also show you the account here, how you get. Once you create the account, when I was talking about different containers, you see there is an option here. This is a particular container. You can import or export containers from your previous. Now let us say this is default workspace. I want to export this container, or I want to import from another container. We can do it here. Now there are environments. There are different environments. If you are creating a demo site or a staging site, you can create new staging environment here and then test it for different environments. And there are many other options, but most importantly, export, import container, and understanding the environment is important. So this is the basics of Google Tag Manager. I hope you guys will be able to install it and triggering the basic conditions for Google Ads and thank you pages. All of this page view, you can easily do it. I will cover in detail about triggers, tags, and variables in the next video, where I explain what kind of tags and triggers are used by most companies for different use cases. So that's it for the first video. I'll see you in the next one.